Hey, hey, beautiful people. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Move Forth podcast. I think we are on the 7th episode, if I'm not mistaken. So feeling lucky, feeling spry. I don't know, maybe not. But Turk is behind me, my dog, and he's really asleep right now. He's very cozy and snoring, so sorry if you can hear him. But we're going to hang out together, he and I, so that we can change the world, right? Isn't that what everybody wants to do, is to impact and change the world, folks? Yes, if that's in your heart, do it. Start with yourself and put it out there, right? Okay, so you guys, today I'm going to geek out on the Enneagram with y'all. And I just went to the most amazing, beautiful, life-changing workshop, and they actually called it a play shop, which is so fun. I've actually never heard of that term. It's so cool. And I went to it about the Enneagram and combined with Nia, and it is with Kate Finlayson, and I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right, beautiful Kate. And if you're listening to this, I think that you are truly an inspiration to this world. I have the chills right now because just thinking about being in your presence, like it just brings so much love and gratitude and peace and joy in my heart. Like I'm just so thrilled to have met you and to have spent this time with you this past weekend. And I just wish you the very best on getting this out into the world, combining the Enneagram with Nia. And Nia, and I'm not going to act like I know a lot about Nia because I don't. I'm not an expert on it, but from what I understand is that it's just a way to heal your body through movement, and you're actually moving your feelings and emotions through your body and just getting into your body so that you can move your emotions where they need to go. And obviously they need to move through us, right? I hope that I described that correctly. And if I didn't, Kate and Kat Mansfield, if you're listening, just let me know, and I can make some edits or whatever. Y'all can just love me for my interpretation, right? So the Enneagram is so fascinating, and I don't know if any of you listeners have done one. I highly recommend it if you are at a time in your life where you just are maybe in a negative place about yourself. Maybe your self-confidence isn't strong. Maybe you're just wanting to make changes and, don't feel like you have the time or feel like you can't, or maybe if you're having some type of issue in a relationship with your partner or with a family member. Maybe if you're just in an internal conflict with yourself, just kind of grappling with some beliefs that you have and possibly wanting to look into those more and change them. I highly recommend that you do the Enneagram. And it's just a way to look at who you are and to learn more about your personality. And for more information, you can go to www.enneagraminstitute.com, I believe. And there's also a book called The Wisdom of the Enneagram, which I am about to go ahead and order, that I think could be very helpful as well. Those were some books recommended. But yeah, you guys, we all have our light and we all have our dark, right? I mean, it's just, we all have it. And I have battled with depression and anxiety and shame for decades. And I'm just now on the other side of that at 40. And I'm just like, okay, yes, just feeling a lot clearer, a lot lighter. And to understand and to know more about how I work is majorly helpful, and to be able to forgive myself and to be patient with myself and to understand how I operate is just game changing. Who wouldn't want to know that, right? So you can do this through the Enneagram, and you can do it as a test. But like I said, if you have the opportunity to do a workshop in your area, look into it ASAP, because just being in a group and learning in that type of way is just it's just a beautiful way to learn. And so I went in with an open mind, didn't know what to expect, and we learned about all the different types of people, and there are 9. And so I'll just kind of list them off and give a brief description for you here, and then maybe you can look into it a little bit more if something resonates with you. So, and this comes from this workshop from Kate this weekend. So I want to make sure that I am acknowledging all of her hard work and beauty and wisdom here. So type 1 is the reformer, and their focus is to improve the world, striving to overcome moral adversity. They are honest, conscientious, and principled, and very purpose-driven. Type 2 is called the helper. Their focus is to take care of others' needs in an effort to feel loved and accepted. They are generous and empathetic and can be very humble. Type 3 is the achiever. To be perceived as successful in the eyes of others is their goal. They are talented, assertive, like to be the best, and have a focus on winning. Type 4 is the individualist, artistic with an eye for beauty. This type is highly attuned to their own emotions and that of others. They are the consummate romantic and can retreat into their inner fantasy world. Type 5 is the investigator. With a passion for knowledge and ideas and an ability to focus, along with a keen intellect, this type is a visionary, able to articulate whole new paradigms. Type 6 is the loyalist, full of courage and ability to stay the course. This type is trustworthy and self-reliant. When not filled with doubt, they are very decisive and committed. Type 7 is the enthusiast. Joyful, playful, and spontaneous, this type has an ability to savor the richness of the world. If not distracted or scattered, they have huge potential for accomplishment. Type 8 is the challenger, intensity. They are self-determining, big-hearted, and powerful. At times, their need to control can be overwhelming. Type 9 is the peacemaker. Peace and harmony is the driver for a 9. At their best, they are patient, unpretentious, and have the ability to recognize the highest potential in others. So those are the 9 types. And I just invite you, if anything kind of stuck out at you, to please, like I said, go over to the Enneagram Institute. Just Google it, and you'll find all these types and a wealth of knowledge on their website to get you started. And it's just really helpful. So what I discovered this past weekend was that I am a 7. I am the enthusiast. And there are aspects about every type that are considered, good and considered bad, or considered positive or negative, or light and dark. And it's just very interesting, like just kind of the shifts that happen for me. When I am presenting myself in a more like be perfect type of way, perfectionist type of way, which I am a recovering perfectionist, it really creates so much anxiety and depression within me. And so now I can just understand that if I'm trying to be perfect or appear perfect, or to not be spontaneous, then I am not showing up as me. And so just to have that knowledge is like, whoa, but I also can use that in a way that is positive for me, so that if I need to get something done or to get organized, I can go to that type of energy to, clean my house in a more methodical way. Like, I like a clean house, but I mean, who are we kidding? It doesn't always get that way. I mean, who are we kidding? Like with 5 and 3-year-old boys, I'm like, screw it. Because it's like they're little tornadoes. I mean, bless their hearts. Like if y'all have little ones, you totally get me. And it's just like, I'm not going to try to keep up with that. And so letting that go feels really good, and asking for help from others, when my babysitters are here, like, oh my gosh, like that's really, really hard for me to do. Because obviously I'm a recovering perfectionist, right? And as a 7, I can kind of do all these things, right? But I get scattered, and I just want to build these muscles of, entrusting other people with, putting my clothes up. Like what? Like I've never, I mean, like I just literally asked our babysitter last week to help me with that. And you guys, like, it's huge for me. Like, I don't know how you feel about it, but it's like, that was really hard for me to do. But I just find that I'm building this trust in other people, and I'm giving them the opportunities to show up for me and to help me so that I can put my focus in other ways of, my clients and doing these podcasts and teaching my Monday movement classes every Monday, and, writing different speaking engagements and networking and all of those things. So it's that's been a big deal for me. And so back to understanding the Enneagram, we have wings on either side of us. So if there's 9 and they're in a circle, and you'll see this hopefully when you check it out, we have wings on either side. So we have a type on either side of us. So the types that are on either side of me are 6 and 8. And what I can understand is when I'm in one of those wings. And so, like, for example, if I am feeling out of control in my house, which is, as moms of little ones, you feel out of control because, little ones, they love to yell and they get so excited about things, and maybe they'll just spontaneously start running around the house, and you're trying to cook dinner, and just all these things are coming through your energy field. And so when I just like lose it, like when I'm just like, all right, that's it, everybody, and I'm like, whoa. And so then I can know that I'm in my 8 wing, and I need some type of control in my life. And so just to kind of use that as a signal, no longer judging it or shaming it, or because it's a part of who I am. And it's just being like, okay, like I need balance. I need to take care of something, within me to just feel more grounded. And then my 6 wing, it helps me to show up in an entertaining way. Like I love to make people laugh, and I love to sing and dance, and I just loved the freedom of that, and just the fun that it brings, like I just love that. And so when I'm doing my Monday movement up on Facebook, or if I'm maybe posting something with a funny facial expression, or if I'm in your presence and I just crack a joke, that's in my inner, that's in that 6 wing, and it's just fun and spontaneous and risky, like risky too, because sometimes if you say something that's joking, sometimes people don't always resonate, but it is a fun and spontaneous place for me to kind of be creative and stuff. So I just, I learned so much, and the baseline fear for a type 7 myself is it's pain. It's fear of being in long-term pain, and that's how we go about the world. And it just really made a lot of sense for the fears that I have, which are I've had a fear of cancer, or like a fear of like long-term illness or something like that, and a fear of mental illness. And so it makes sense to me, because I'm going to, run away from those sort of things. I'm going to, that is like really painful for me to be in that space and to look around at that fear. And so I did that this past year. I looked at both of these things because I was presented by God, the universe, angels, to look at these fears. And it was a lot. My fear with cancer, my doctor discovered some movable lumps in my breast, and it's like, oh my gosh, like what? Like totally not a fun place for me to be in. And then everything we were thinking everything's fine. So just still, checking in with my doctors and working with a naturopath right now on that. And I'm feeling great. So we're just going to keep on rolling and moving forth, right? And another thing was when Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade committed suicide, something like shifted in me. I literally heard it over the news, and I came to find out actually at this workshop this past weekend that Anthony Bourdain is a 7, was a 7, and so was Robin Williams, actually. Because if our baseline of fear is pain, like a diagnosis or an addiction, is very painful for a type 7 to work through. And it was just so interesting for me to be like, wow, but anyway, back to, I literally heard it on the news, and it entered me. It was so weird. It was like I went immediately into anxiety, that fear of mental illness, that fear of losing my mind, the fear of, suicide or any of those things, that loss of control and that pain of being in that space was too much for me at that time. But I went about it a different way. I talked to dear friends about it. I talked to my amazing cousin about it, and he's a counselor and is very spiritual, and he helped me tremendously through that. Obviously, I talked with my counselor and fellow coaches, and I just went about it a different way, and I was very aware that this was not me, that these were not my thoughts, that it was just this very strange thing that I had to sit in and to learn how to overcome the pain of anxiety and the pain of a mind that won't stop, that you have no control over. That's anxiety. And then you get into anxious anxiety where you think that you're going to be like that forever. And for its type 7, that is like hell. It's hell on earth. And you get angry, you get frustrated, you get depressed, you get confused, you get stuck, you get sad, you get scared. And I meditated like it was my job. The Calm app was, oh my gosh, like a lifesaver for me. I still use that app today, every day. Thank you, Tamara Levitt. Thank you. Go download it. If you don't have the Calm app, go download it. Yeah, it costs money, but I'm going to tell you, it saved my life. I'm not going to lie. So it's, for the 7, it's like balance. My freedom is feeling joy. And so if I'm bringing a mindset or depression or anxiety into the moment, I'm not going to experience joy. And that just prolongs my experience of pain. And so this past workshop and really diving into understanding more about myself and how I tick, it really, it was life-changing completely. Like, Kate Finlayson, you are the freaking master at this. And it was amazing to use Nia and to move all of these things through the body. We did dancing to each type. And so you listen to music that is designed for each type of person in the Enneagram, the types, the 9 types. It was so beautifully healing, and to understand other people and your relationships, and to have true forgiveness and acceptance of who they are and compassion. I haven't cried like that in a really long time. And it was so perfectly needed and perfectly orchestrated. And I don't even know what else. I mean, it was just like, whoa. And so, yeah, I mean, I love this type of stuff. I love, angel cards. I love angel numbers. I love synchronicities. and signs in nature and just all around us. And, I'm just finding that the more I can love myself, have patience with myself, compassion toward myself, the more I can have compassion for everyone. I mean, I know that sounds like, duh, Angela, but it's true. Like, there was the other night I was just kind of sitting with my 5-year-old son, and we were reading a book, and, he was his attention was taken away from the book, and that might have, before this weekend kind of bothered me. And I would have been like, you need to listen to this book, or did you just want to keep reading or whatever? But I just kind of sat there and I just watched him, and I just let it happen. And I was like, wow, this feels so much better than, getting upset with him and putting some type of, rule on him really he's not doing anything wrong. He's just looking at like a little snow globe on his nightstand and just noticing something about it and telling me about it. And so just looking at things with awe and wonder, and that's a part of the 7 that I want to really bring back as I continue to grow and expand this year. And I want to share it with you. I don't want to hold all this knowledge in. I want you to, know about the Enneagram, and I want you to just get curious about it and start looking into it. And because it's just so fascinating. It's so fascinating and life-changing. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, little geek out session on the Enneagram. And, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can reach out to me on Facebook at Angela Pace Forth or Move Forth Coaching. You can send me an email, angela.moveforth@gmail.com, or you can check out my website, www.moveforthcoaching.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have about, the books that I listed or the website that I mentioned as well. Just anything. I love talking about this sort of stuff. So anything you got, bring it my way. Also, some big changes hopefully are happening here. I'm going to team up with an awesome team to help me to really launch this podcast in a legit way. I'm literally sitting here in a vest, my hat. I have my phone on airplane mode. I have socks on with my flip-flop slippers, and people might be like, oh my God, you wear socks with your flip-flops. And I'm like, yeah, I actually can. I'm one of those people. Hope I didn't lose you right there. And, I have no makeup on. I have a hat on, and my dog is snoring behind me, and I have a mug of bone broth that's getting cold. Take a little swig. But yeah, I'm teaming up with this awesome team, and so we'll be coming at you from Move Forth HQ. They'll be videoing me while I do it, which is oh my gosh, wow. I'll have all this lighting and cameras and a real legit mic, and it's going to be whoa, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I think it's going to be really, really awesome because these guys are just a true delight to be around. So, hopefully that will be, actually it's going to be starting this Friday, that we'll be working together. And so hopefully I'll be up on iTunes soon and, have a real podcast floating out there rather than just video, than just videos here. But just want to get it out there. It's not perfect, but I just want to get it out there and get it into your life. So yeah, you take good care of yourself, and I'm going to get back to it here. I got to go to my naturopath right now and get some more supplements and geek out with her for a bit on organic food and just everything, because I absolutely love geeking out. And and I'm just going to go for a walk and continue with my day. All right, so you take good care and go and take that Enneagram and watch your life change. All right, bye-bye.